This production is being brought to you by Battery Outfitters, powering everything from lawn tractors and sports cars to RVs and forklifts. With locations all over the Mid-South, they are your neighborhood battery store.
What's up, everybody? Quentin here with Mid-South Outdoor Life. And today we're going to do a little tackle talk session, and we're going to be focused on what I think is probably one of the most trending things in catfishing, and that is dragging sinkers, or more specifically, DIY dragging sinkers. So let's get to it. I suspect that if you have followed this YouTube channel for any measurable amount of time whatsoever, you probably won't be surprised to find out that I self-identify as a DIY type of guy. I love to build stuff. You know, I mean, you've probably seen me build a number of things here on the channel. I built Lucille, my boat. I did a video on this rod rack behind me. I built my anchor. By the way, we might talk about doing a video on building your own anchor. But yeah, I like to build all kinds of stuff. And sometimes it's because it saves me money. Sometimes it's because maybe I think I can build a better version than what I can buy. But sometimes it's just because there's often an additional satisfaction that you might get from using something that you build on your own. But then again, I mean, you clicked on a video about DIY dragging sinkers, so you can probably relate to that. However, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because you might actually be surprised at my final thoughts on this particular topic. So let's dive into it, shall we? And let's do it by looking at these sinkers. I'm going to put an image over here. These sinkers that you see on the side of the screen, what do they have in common? Besides the fact that they're lead and that they're designed to lower a bait down to a given depth or the bottom of a body of water. What else do they have in common? One thing that they have in common is that in most cases, like the case of the 20-ounce casting sinker, the coin sinker, the no rolls, they're designed to literally keep a fixed position on the bottom. Nothing about their design has to do with getting them back. They are literally there to hold your bait on the bottom. And that makes them largely different from any of the dragging sinkers that you guys might be considering building. Take, for example, the structure snake. This one here, this is like a 4.5 or 5 ounce flexible dragging sinker. This whole thing is designed to be slender so that it can go between objects, so that it doesn't get stuck between those objects, and so you can get it back over and over. Pencil sinker, while completely different, it's also the same. It's slender for a reason, so that it can go between objects and so that you can get it back. You know, I don't remember what these are called, but same thing. Slender in design so that you can get them back. This one, similar but different. Slender in design, it's going to slide right through many objects, but look at this curve that it's got. That's all by design. And that's what makes dragging sinkers so much different than a traditional sinker. And those are some of the many things that you might want to be keeping in mind if you're going to build your own DIY dragging sinkers or weights. I'm reminded of a conversation that I had at the 2018 Catfish Conference. I was standing near a table in which there were a bunch of dragging sinkers for sale, most of which ranged in price from like $3 to I think over $5. And a guy that was standing next to me, also looking at the same thing, he's like, man, he said, do these actually work? And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, why would you pay $5 for a sinker? It's a reasonable question, because dragging sinkers are in fact expensive. And I think that, above all else, is the #1 reason why so many people are researching DIY dragging sinkers. So I have to confess, the idea of spending $3 to $5 on sinkers didn't exactly excite me either. And that's why I started doing research on DIY dragging weights. But let me tell you what I found out. I found that the cost of lead has skyrocketed. I found that I wasn't really sure exactly which design was going to work best for me or that I would prefer, because I hadn't really tried any of the dragging sinkers on the market at the time. And then when I started researching some of the current builds, like let's say this one, the Larry Muse signature weight, there's a lot of components here. you've got the hose, you got to have something to seal the ends, you need a cap for this little screw, you need the snap swivel, and then this lead shot. Lead shot is ridiculously priced right now. In my area, to get remotely enough lead shot to do a few sinkers, you actually have to buy it in bulk, like 25-pound bags, and it's stupid expensive. It's like I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks, and I only needed so many sinkers to get going. And what I found was I was going to spend like a lot of money to build a few dragon sinkers, and I could actually buy a few dragon sinkers for less than what it was going to cost me to build them. And then you got to question, well, how many are you going to need? Well, that kind of brings me to my point. As you can see, I've got all the popular varieties of readily available, we'll say manufactured dragon weights on the market. The structure snakes, the common pencil weight, the smaller structure snake, can't remember what these are called, I don't really remember, and then the Larry Muse ones. Why do I have these here? Well, it's because I remembered that conversation I had with the guy at Catfish Conference, and I kind of began to wonder, how could they be worth it? And then I was weighing out what it was going to cost me to build my own, and I decided to try these. What I found might shock you, given my nature of being a DIY guy. I found that I questioned whether or not it's worth it to build your own dragging sinker. I have literally tried to lose some of these. If you'll notice, like, there's mud on this one. It's been used. This one's all banged up. It's been used. Same here. This one's still muddy. These are totally scratched up. You can barely see through the tube anymore. I have drugged these Larry Muse weights. There's an area that I fish just outside of Memphis. It's by a concrete plant. And the majority of the bank and the bottom area where I'm dragging through is literally just a minefield of jagged, busted concrete that's been bulldozed in over the years. And I can't lose these things. I've pulled through some backwater areas off the Mississippi River that is nothing but a minefield of root wads and trees. And I'm not losing them. I've lost one ever. Ever. Again, I love DIY. My planer boards. I built them. You know, I came up with the design and I built them. I love DIY. But the simple fact is, if you have a good dragging sinker, no matter if you build it or if someone else does, odds are you're not going to lose very many. Again, I've lost one ever. So let me make my point. Yes, these are kind of pricey. These are like $5, but I'm not losing them. So if I'm not losing them, why buy a $60 or $70 bag of lead and a bunch of hose and all the other little components and spend my time building them if I'm not losing them? If they work that good. I mean, look at the design of this. No matter which way you pull this, it's always going to turn around. If I pull it sideways, look at it. It's always going to turn around and face up. Say this is an obstruction. It's always going to ramp up. Let's see how it rolled over and go over the object. These are impressive. They're very well done. I don't see how I can improve on it. I suppose if I just wanted to build 40 of them, maybe it would be worth spending $100 on parts and pieces and time to build them versus buying a few. But the other side of that coin is, guys, there are people in this industry that have done the research for us, and they've put the time in, and they've stuck their neck out to build things for us, and in some cases they've done a really good job. Again, I can't lose them. And as much as I would like to jump on a soapbox and tell you guys, you know, fight the man, build it on your own, I've actually finally ran into a product that I think is killer, and it deserves my $5 and my thank you to the guys who that built them ahead of me. And I can continue to spend my time on molding my no rolls and my bank sinkers, and leave these more intricate builds to the guys that have done it for me. Of course, I don't need any more because I can't lose these. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this one up. But before I do, I want to invite you guys to share your thoughts on DIY dragging weights versus the manufactured dragging weights. Put it in the comments below. If you have a favorite, let me know what it is. If you design your own, tell me about it. Put it all in the comments below. I'm even going to invite you guys to post links. If you're selling your own dragging weights, that's fine too. Put it in the comments below. I want to hear about all of them. I want to look at all of them. I just like tackle. I'm sure you do too, or you wouldn't be watching, right? Anyway, I'll see you guys soon in a future upload. Thanks for watching.